Welcome to Aging Gracefully on Suncoast FYI. I'm your host, Nancy O'Neill. Each week I speak with local professionals on a wide range of topics, from fitness to finances and from dance to dentistry. We are here to give you tips and advice on how you can live a happy and healthier life no matter what age you may be. Big changes are coming to Bath and Racquet Fitness Club. Sean Dressler joins us today to tell us what these changes mean to its members and anyone interested in joining the club. Nice to see you today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, enjoyed meeting your colleagues in the last couple segments. So you're here to tell us about the property changes. Give us a summary of what's going to take place, because you've got some big plans going on there.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of things going on. It's a big property. It's about 13 acres, and I guess we've already heard in previous segments about the club. Full renovation coming to the club, so we're going to have brand new gym, brand new restaurant, brand new pool area, state-of-the-art, world-class facility, and that's just the club itself. Around the club, we're going to be bringing in basically a new community. So up to 207 new residential units. Really? That's going to be in the form of a brand new apartment building in the front where the current parking lot is. And then around the south and along the east side, that would be new condo buildings. So,
wow.
Yeah, really exciting.
Wow. And everybody has to be a member of the club.
Well, that's a great question.
Just kidding.
That's a great question. Yeah. Probably not. Okay. But we hope they'll want to join.
Okay. Of course. Why would they want to move there if they weren't going to be, involved in health and tennis? Everybody loves tennis. So, well, for your current members, what kind of effect is that going to have on them, Sean?
Sure. Yeah. And what we hope is all positive effects. There's a great community at the Bath and Racquet Club today. As we learned in a previous segment, it's 49 years old, coming up on 50 years. And what we want to do is provide a facility and a community that is solidified for the next 50 years.
I love it. It's a great concept. So what's going to happen with the existing club and tennis courts? I mean, is there going to be, some of them are they all going to go away at once? Are you going to do it in stages so that there's some courts that are available? How's that going to work?
Sure, yeah, phasing is critical in any type of a project this big. And the team, the ownership team, the development team, the design team, we're all dedicated to making sure that the club stays open, that the courts stay open. The project, once it's all said and done, we'll have all of the new residential units. We'll have a brand new renovated club, and we'll still have 18 to 20 tennis courts that are renovated and high quality for the members there.
Okay. Now, have you broken ground yet, or when is that going? Not quite. Okay.
No, we're going through a public process right now. We're cleaning up the zoning, and then we'll go through the permitting process, and we hope to be breaking ground next year.
Okay. And do you have a ballpark of once you start? Is it a 1-year plan, a 2-year plan or is you going to do it in phases?
Sure. It'll definitely be done in phases. We don't really have all of the details ironed out on the phasing, but it'll certainly be a multi-year, multi-phase plan.
Okay. What are you most excited about?
Really just the history. When I started getting involved in this project, my first task was to really understand the Bath and Racquet Club and the history of the club. And it's extremely rich, amazing community. And I think what I'm most excited about is taking that history and bringing it into the future and really creating a facility that allows that to continue for the next 50 years and be an even more vital part of not just the immediate community, but the entire Sarasota community.
Yeah, and it will make a huge impact on the community. Now, how long have you been with the club?
So we've been working on this process for a little over 3 years now, going back to very early planning, really starting to set the stage of the process that we would go through. And from the beginning, the focus from the very beginning has been how can we craft a community around this club that makes the club better? And that's really the core tenet that we've stuck with throughout the whole process.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers before we close today?
Just really excited to see these renovations happen, and looking forward to continuing to be a part of the community.
Great. Now, are you a tennis player?
A little bit. I wouldn't
Yeah?
call myself a tennis player, but I enjoy trying to play at tennis.
Okay. And how about personal training? Do you ever get into that with these guys?
It's been a while, as the camera can probably see, but might be interested in it. Once we have the world-class facility all ironed out.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see it. It sounds like just an amazing, amazing project. And please tell our viewers again once more where you're located.
Sure. So the Bath and Racquet Club is right behind Trader Joe's on US 41.
Okay. For the last 49 years and 50 years, you're going to have a party? Someone whispered in my ear?
Yeah, I think so. Details to come.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks for being here, Sean.
Thank you.
Dr. Jenny Wilkins with ageVital Pharmacy is back, and she shares more tips with us after the break. Osteoporosis is estimated to affect 200 million women worldwide. Here to discuss how to keep your bones healthy is Dr. Jenny from ageVital Pharmacy. This is so important for women of
all ages.
All ages.
All ages.
Okay, what is it, and can we avoid it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 100% preventable, and half of the pharmaceutical drugs out there, Nancy, that are available make it worse and don't prevent and reverse. It just kind of like makes it pause, where it's, well, how do you get to the root cause of it? And I think of bones kind of like your highway and the concrete and the roads. You know how we have to have all of these different engineers and construction workers constantly fixing our roads? Well, that's kind of like the bones in our society, yeah. Right? But our bones are the same way. We're constantly having little dings and wear and tear in our concrete throughout our whole entire system, and then you have all these little porous holes that happen, and what happens is you lose density because of the weather and because of too much walking and too much exercising, and then there's of course age, and I'm using the highways as an example, but it really is like that.
Sure.
So we need to make sure that we have supplements, and we go in there and we have those construction workers in there doing and repairing our bone structure. So that's really what it is, and it's as simple as taking certain types of nutrients and looking at different types of hormone levels. So the number one hormone that I tell people to always look, especially women, and I've had osteoporosis before, which is considered osteopenia. That's what you call it, where your bone density is less than negative 2.0, and mine was at a negative 1.3. Anything above the negative, you want to be in the positive. You want to be like a positive 2 or positive 2.5 when you're doing a bone density. And I tell women, this is something you want to test for every 6 months to a year.
Really?
Twice a year, yeah, because you just don't know. And if you're not working out and challenging your bones to make sure that they're getting stronger and exercising them, then you need to have a bone density scan.
Really?
Yeah, every 6 months to a year.
Your doctor won't recommend that.
No, but you have facilities. You have functional integrative facilities, and they have devices where they can check the bone density via the finger, or they have the little the health fairs like the Southern Women's Show. I always go to that and take advantage of those shows because they have the big tanks where you put your feet in there and then it squeezes your ankle and it measures your bone density from there, and they even have machines that'll squeeze certain portions of your hip and you can test. You don't have to go into a gigantic machine to look at your overall. I mean, if if your bones are thinning in your fingers, something else is happening systemically. So look at testosterone levels. That's the big one. And me having 4 children, I have 4 kids. Every single one of those children, they suck you dry. They take everything from you, It's just like the vitamin D, they're taking your magnesium and your calcium, and these are all nutrients that nourish your bones. and they take away your testosterone. So my bone density, every time I have
Oh
a child,
gosh.
I have osteopenia. So I have to spend 3 to 6 months reviving and rebuilding my skeletal system. Otherwise, I can break a hip. You know, I do, and I feel fragile. And then I tell women, you know, check vitamin D3 levels. Women are at more risk of having osteoporosis than men. And the reason being is because our levels of testosterone aren't quite as high. They have all this manly testosterone that works for them. We have all of this estrogen that, you know, too much of it works against us.
So how do you test for vitamin D?
Vitamin D you do through blood serum. You can go to your doctor's office. They do the blood serum. You know, they do it in their office. Yep. ageVital. We sell the kits.
Yep.
We sell a kit, and then you go to a draw center. I mean, you're going to a company like any Lab Test or Quest or LabCorp, and then they do the draw. And it's not that expensive. You're talking about like $100 panel, depending, you know, on how many markers. I say vitamin D3, vitamin K2. They kind of go together. And then once those levels come back, you can supplement. But if you get measured, you have a bone density, you know, test that says you're low. I have supplements that I go to.
So what are they?
I created this one, and this one's my best seller. Women, children, we have walking vampires out there. Everybody's deficient in vitamin D3. So if they're deficient in it, you know their bone density is low. This is like a spray, a liposomal spray. They spray it underneath their mouth, and it gives them their daily dose of vitamin D3 with K2. And if a vitamin D3 supplement does not have the K2, you might as well throw your supplement away, because the K2 is what actually helps the vitamin D3 to get into the bones, and it helps you absorb your magnesium. So that's the next supplement, making sure that your magnesium gets into your bones. So this supplement, I recommend people take this right before you go to bed. It's very calming, it's soothing, helps you rest and digest. It's a natural, you know, what do you call it? Helps you to go number 2. And a lot of people, we could talk about that in another segment. But who doesn't want to, you know, go? So you lose weight while you're taking this, but your bones are getting stronger and you get more energy. Magnesium has so many different things that, you know, it benefits the body. And then here's the Amino Pro. This helps, amino acids, those are the building blocks to everything. Helps strengthen cartilage and muscular system. So I take 2 to 3 of these every single day. And you can look at amino acid levels as well. You can look at a complete nutritional panel. And then once you have all of that, your bones are healthier and your immune system's stronger.
Lifestyle changes.
Yeah, lifestyle changes. And there's certain types of foods. I tell people, start exercising more. Go and do, don't try to go and be a, you know, a pro Olympian, but go out, do some Pilates, do some yoga, go do some synchronized swimming. You know, I go just for brisk walks with my children for an hour, and an hour just doing 3 miles in an hour walking. That's a lot of fun. It's fun for me and it's fun for the children.
And it's healthy and good for your bones.
Right, good for your bones, absolutely.
Thank you, doctor. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Esther Holt with Star Financial Solutions is back with us, so don't go away. Esther Holt with Star Financial Solutions is back this week, and she's going to tell us how important it is to check our beneficiaries. So it's the end of the year. Oh my gosh.
Almost, yeah.
Almost the end of the year.
Close.
And I don't know when the last time was I checked my beneficiaries. So
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So who should you have listed, number 1, as your beneficiaries?
You can have anyone you want
Anyone
listed.
you want
Anyone
listed.
you want.
Okay, this is for viewers' information.
Yeah.
I do have them. I just haven't checked them lately. So how often should you do this?
Okay, so the rule of thumb is every 3 to 5 years. But it's not a bad idea, and I tell people at the end of the year, think about what's gone on in your life. So has anyone gotten married? Like if your kids have gotten married, has anyone gotten divorced? Have you gotten divorced? Have there been new grandchildren? Has any of the grandchildren maybe gotten above the age of 21, and that may change things. And if any of these things have happened, if you know, it's a good time to just check everything, make sure everything is the way you want it to be.
Okay, now when you say check everything, what kind of documents should people be checking?
Okay, so the accounts that need beneficiaries, so you have your IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, all of that. annuities, life insurance. Of course, you have your will, a trust, all these documents, and TOD accounts.
TOD accounts. Okay. What are TOD accounts?
I got you again, didn't I?
You got me on that one. Okay.
So TOD accounts is transfer on death. And that is what you use if you have an individual or a joint account that is not tax qualified like an IRA. So in other words, everyone knows about, regular accounts would go through a will and then you got to go through probate. If you have what they call transfer on death attached to your individual or joint account, then it will not go through probate. So then, if you should pass, well, if it's a joint account and you should pass, it would go to your husband. Or if it's an individual and just your name is on it, then you put the TOD, and if you should pass, then with a death certificate and a new account form, it goes directly to your beneficiaries.
Okay. Now, is there any way we can talk about the probate aspects of if you don't have a beneficiary?
Well, I don't do probate. I'm not an estate attorney, and that's who really does probate. But, I would highly recommend you get with a probate attorney to find out about that. But, these are ways that you plan for you do estate planning to plan to transfer your assets. Mm-hmm. So, if you put a transfer upon death, if you name your beneficiaries in your IRA, then sometimes you don't have to worry so much about that.
All right.
Of course, there's other things that may go through probate.
Okay. Now, you've been with us for all these wonderful weeks, and we've talked about so many times. Could you just give us a little review of your qualifications that you have? That make you able to do what you do?
I do have now 7 FINRA registrations. Mm-hmm. I have my insurance license. I have practiced in many states and can pretty much licensing can be licensed in all the states. Mm-hmm. I have been an advisor in this town in Sarasota for 22 years, mm-hmm.
working
with clients. I started as a secretary on Wall Street in the 80s, so I've been in the industry for a very long time.
So you know what you're doing. I mean, if people want to get advice, Star Financial is definitely an avenue for them to look into.
Oh yeah, we do pretty much everything and look at a person for who they are and what their needs are and mm-hmm. what their goals are.
Okay. Now, we were talking about transferring assets too. There's a number of ways that people can do that. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Well, there are, and again, there are other types of things that will transfer, and again, for that, you need an estate planning attorney. So for real estate, mm-hmm. for maybe your car, for your business, for other things, you do need an estate planning attorney. For me, life insurance, annuities, all of your brokerage accounts, and we either have direct beneficiaries for a lot of those, or else a transfer upon death. And they weren't used for a long time. Mm-hmm. There was extra fees attached to them. Now, most brokerage firms and banks don't charge those extra fees. So it makes more sense to do it.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I know you have a disclaimer that you have to do for us again
Always.
Today. All right, well, take it away.
As always, I believe you should work with a credible financial advisor like me who will work with you to make sure you are invested in a way that suits your needs. Feel free to call me for a no-obligation portfolio review.
Great. Awesome. Thank you, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Esther. Thank you for joining us on Aging Gracefully on Suncoast FYI. To find more tips from local experts, you can view previous episodes and complete seasons at snntv.com under Programming. We'll be back next Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. with more tips on how you can live a happier and healthy life. Until then, have a wonderful week.